get turbid urine and having lot of infections, pus. They also have itching in the area. So that is Kaphaja Mutra Krucha, and for that Kshara and Ushna Dravyas are to be taken, and Svedana, barley and Varunadi Kashaya, all of that is indicated for Kaphaja. Next. So for Dvandvaja it is a mix of the doshas and it's easy to find out. And if it is because of constipation or vibhanda, that they are finding it difficult to pass urine or they are having a problem, then Vatanulomana drugs will be sufficient and it helps in that. And due to calculus, this has to be done, of course, under the expertise doctor. So but sometimes you cannot do anything, just give them pain relieving drugs. Then after delivery, it has to be treated. Next. So the aushadas that we can give in OPD practice, one is Vaksamayanta Bhukruta. This can be combined with Chokachinyadi Churna or even Parangi Pattai. This can be given for a small duration, say about for 3 to 5 days. When you get, that would be sufficient also. Chandanasava and Ushirasava can be mixed together, given in a small quantity for say about for 15 days or so. Or even Shatavari is already told. So as Rasayanas we can be giving that throughout. Mahavangeshwara can be given. The next one. Next is cholestasis, guys. So, So in cholestasis, I want to tell this case. A friend's sister actually, she came in her 8th month, complained of itching all over her body, and she had more itching in her soles and feet. She had already tried all home remedies. Her all the relatives told that you try and use aloe vera gel, or you do some coconut oil massage. You try this. It is because of the skin expanding, like how Kikisa is explained in that way. It was all those Manjishta. She even applied Manjishta and Ushira Kalka, but it was not giving her very good relief. So that is when she approached, and she also told that there were nodules which are being formed, and they were they were bursting and they were giving her a lot of problem. So that is when complete detail, when it was taken, we could find out that it was because of Shakashrita Kamala or cholestasis. Next slide. So what happens in Shakashrita Kamala? The bile or the pitta which has to move from the liver to the duodenum is kind of obstructed. That is the same thing which happens even in cholestasis also. Because of which the bile salts or the bilirubin it stays up in the blood and it starts giving rise to itching. So this is what was seen even in her case also. But apart from that, we have other major signs. Not that there are many major signs that we observe here, but there are few of it which is exaggerated. So there is mild and moderate elevation of certain liver enzymes. Next. So what is the effect? One is unexplained stillbirth and preterm delivery. Next. What is the treatment plan? Treatment plan is to remove the obstruction, is the basic plan. So for this, we need to use, now kapha is the one which is, obstructing that, the srotas there. So we need something which is katu, which will help to clear up that, which is a srota shodhaka. And now the Malarupa Pitta is there in the shakas. It's not in the koshtas. If it's in the koshtas through Virechana, you can remove it. But you need to bring the Shakashrita, the Malarupa Pitta to the, to the abdomen. And for that, Kashaya Dravyas and Ruksha Dravyas are advised. And also Amla Dravyas, which will do the Vriddhi, which will do the Abhishanda, and then which will bring it to the Koshta. And after that, a mild Virechana Dravya or something like Draksha can be given. Or something even just like Triphala also will be very helpful. And it also, and the symptoms also starts coming down just with about 2-3 days of using it. So we can always advise them something like Trikatu with Madhu, and we know that radish is advised for all kind of liver problems. So again here radish can be given, and Matulunga Rasayana or a Pulatta soup can be prepared and given. Here there's another important, there's a reference of Ashwagandhadi Churna. This Ashwagandhadi Churna has ashwagandha as the main drug, and it has Trikatu. So this is indicated for most of the problems, and here especially to do with Kamala, and here it has proved very well. Just with about 3 days of using Ashwagandhadi Churna, the symptom starts to come down, and by the 4th or the 5th day, once you give them a light Vatanulomana and something like a Virechana Dravya, the symptoms starts to come down by about 7 days completely. Next one. For just the itching part, they can apply coke. But all of this will just give only momentary relief, but the actual relief has to be done from inside. So you can tell them to apply coconut oil or aloe vera gel also. So it will definitely help, but it's just for a momentary effect. Next is arthritis in pregnancy, Ramavata. So next. Okay. There are certain diseases which are again Amavata is like how asthma was told. So even in Amavata, there is an immunological response that's taking place in the body in a normal Amavata case. But once she gets pregnant, it switches off. So most of the Amavata patients, they don't have the symptoms at all. They feel absolutely fine. They feel that it is okay. But most of them, I would say like about 30 to 40% feel that their problems have increased. The joint pains are more. Their the sickness is back. So that is how all the morning stiffness, I would say, or that inflammation, the redness, the soreness, all of that is seen again. Next one. So this is the criteria where rheumatoid arthritis is diagnosed. So, but these are the Ayurveda Lakshanas which have been told. So when we look at it in detail and we see, we can avoid it right from the beginning itself. To see that you already have an Amavata patient who is becoming, who is pregnant now, you know what to do. You'll be able to give her medicines right from there. Next. So treating the inflamed Vata and Kapha is important. Amavata is Ama with Vata. So we need to treat both the Ama here, the Kapha has to be cleared up, and then the Vata Rakta kind of a treatment has to be the Chikitsa Sutra, which is told for Vata Rakta, and then for Vata Vyadhis, all that can be advocated here. And even Ocha Rasayanas have to be given so that she has good amount of immunity. Next. So if you have, now what happens, most of these, the one with RA positive or they find it difficult to get pregnant in case they have started off, or in case they are taking certain allopathic medicines. That's because of the reason that most of these drugs, they don't allow follicles to develop. They see that the follicles that a woman has, her ovulation, what has to take place, does not take place properly because of these drugs. So in RA, when you have a patient who is doing that, first we need to wean off them taking the allopathic drugs and start off with just the Ayurveda medicines, where it's easier for them to get pregnant, where those effects are not seen. So in those cases, Panchakarma can be given, not exactly Panchakarma is contraindicated here, but Virechanas can be given. Ruksha Svedas can be given. So Virechana here is with Eranda Taila basically. So Eranda is used. So you can also use other like Shunti Gruta, Kanji, Shatpala Gruta, all of this can be used. And here again Lashunadi Gruta, what was told, and Simhanadi Kugudu, all of that can be used, and they can see that the pain comes down. Once they get pregnant, Amrutotara Churna helps them to see that these symptoms don't exacerbate. You need to give them an anti-inflammatory like Amruta also, which will maintain to see that the inflammation process just does not suddenly increase. Next. So these are all external lepas, tailas can always be given, and it will not cause them any problem. So Saindavadi taila especially very helpful, and just a normal Tila taila which is mixed with mustard oil also will be very helpful in the Amavata cases. Next. The other important thing, RA factor, is that they need to again get back into their lifestyle. They have to do little lifestyle modifications. They should see that this pain, they tell that all the pain, only a patient who's suffering from RA actually knows what kind of pain they are undergoing through. So it becomes difficult when we tell them that no, you need to move out, you need to do a little bit of activity, only then your pain will come down. If you are there at a place, so you need to make them, you have to reassure them and see that they have a positive, they're able to move around again. We need to put in a little bit of rules, regulations in their diet, and tell them to do activity for about 15 minutes to 20 minutes. to go on increasing, seeing that these pains don't exacerbate. Next. So the next one is thyroid problems in pregnancy. Now about 10 to 15 years back, we actually never saw much of thyroid problems, or even we didn't know that it would cause so much of major problems in pregnancy. Now when we come across anybody who has even about 2.7 in the first trimester is given a something to a drug to see that the thyroid functioning comes back to its normalcy. So thyroid problems have become something that especially to do with pregnancy, they have come from right from infertility, they're kind of related. So how do we understand through Ayurveda? Next. So we have the thyroid functioning. We all know how it functions. Thyroid, when we take it as a gland, it is something to do with metabolism. There can be underactive thyroid or there can be an overactive thyroid. In case of overactive thyroid, the vata and the pitta are involved. They're so strong that they take whatever the metabolism is so strong, it goes to increase. They're able to eat. The time gap is less. It goes on to increase and sees that even the dhatu kshayas can start taking place. So that is being overactive. What happens in hypoactive is the kapha, the medas, vata. Three are also involved. They're located in the throat. They see that there is sluggishness that is taking place. It's not allowing, there is avarana that is not allowing the normal functioning to take place. So this is what hypothyroid, and once if it is left so, there are signs for each of the doshas which are seen. For some of them there is thyroid root which is seen in the, they compare that to Nedija Gandamala. So all of that is explained in our text, but understanding them is an issue here. So here what I have done is taking the Gandamala as the hypothyroid problems. Next one. So when we see the overactive thyroid, this is the problems that it can cause, and that's the reason it is given, a supplement is given to see that its functioning is done. Almost 50% we are not sure whether it actually really helps or not, but it says that it corrects the metabolism and therefore it is able to correct it. Next. This is the underactive thyroid. So an underactive thyroid can cause IQ problems also in the fetus. So it can cause neurodevelopmental delay. The children who are born to hypothyroid patients, or even if sometimes they have taken a supplement also, the children are not of very good mental capacity. They're absolutely normal. They have no other problem. The neurodevelopmental skills and the movements are a little lesser compared to the normal children. Next. The treatment. So, in case of an underactive thyroid, when it is vata, the Nadi Sveda, Abhyanga and Nadi Sveda with Vatahara Aushadas is very much helpful. So anything, which is just from plain Tila Taila, Mahanarayana Tala, anything can be applied here, and a light Sveda is given. It is to be remembered, not a very strong Sveda where they are exposed to about 15-20 minutes, but light, even a Valuka Sveda will be helpful. Next is Kapha. Kapha giving Lavana and Valuka Potali Svedas have been advised. In Medaja, Vamana, Shiro Virechana and all types of other Virechanas I explained. So here we have some of the patients who have hypothyroidism, infertility, want to get pregnant. For them, especially Panchakarma, you can see in most of the cases, just after giving a Vamana, their TSH level drastically falls down. So is also the case with Nasya. There have been enough amount of studies which has already been done. In Nasya, when they use, this, it could be Anu Taila also, and it can be this, the Brahmi Taila, and some of them have used even Brahmi Gruta internally also, and Brahmi Vati. All of these have shown very good effect in case of hypothyroidism. In Medaja Galaganda, you have this major problem. They have this thyroid brood, when we examine, because of which they also have palpitations, they don't get good sleep. So in them, giving Brahmi Vati has helped a lot. And to see that the swelling comes down, this Atasi Upanaha is advised. Atasi is, making it into a powder and doing a poultice and applying it has been advised in the textbooks. Next. in case of overactive thyroid, we have all read Bhasmaka Roga. So Bhasmaka is where the Agni is very strong, but it's in the GIT, there is Dhatukshaya taking place also if it is left unattended. So the same thing is with overactive thyroid, but not to a major degree, but here it is in the Urdhva Chatru region. So it can cause effects that are to be done in that region. So here ghee medicines are advised, which are Vata and which are Pittahara. And again Shatavari, all Jivaniya Ganas, which will help to see that there is a cell regeneration taking place. So such kind of Gana medicines are advised. Next. So coming to the conclusion, we have most of the diseases are explained in our textbooks, and we have the good treatment also for it. Sometimes we argue to see whether this is going to work in this patient, whether this is not going to work, whether it's going to help him or not. Sometimes we will be surprised that the patients themselves give us confidence and they tell us, no doctor, you give me this, I know it's definitely going to work. So, it's a time, where we need to come out of it. We need to, increase our strengths, just not in the knowledge, but also in practical application, because that is what we are meant for, and that is what we have to do to serve the society. So I think, it's high time that, we start handling small complications and emergencies, so that, we are trained in such a way that even when there's something big that comes to us, we are able to look after it. So, said so, salutations to Lord Dhanvantari, and thank you to Dr. Priya for giving me an opportunity to speak to a wonderful audience here, and all salutation to all the dignitaries of the dais also. And if I've made any mistakes in my talk, kindly forgive me, and thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. It was indeed a very informative lecture. Our next speaker, the last speaker of the day, is Dr. Sharduli Terwarkar, madam. She's the owner of Sukhayu Wellness Center at Sangli.